Hey everybody, just wanted to do a quick video for probably just 2 or 3 minutes here just to show you how to do the invite a guest portion of Blackboard. So what you need to do is you need to be in your course. I'm not in the online teaching course, but I'm just in my own practice course. And you need to go down to Course Tools on your menu. And when you touch that, Course Tools, and then you need to go down to Blackboard Collaborate. Okay, and so then now you can see in this area my different rooms, and here, before I do anything else, is where I can do 3 different things. I can allow guests, I can add a link, and I can edit the room. So I'm going to do all 3 of those things to show you how they work. So if I click or tap allow guests, you can turn this on or off. I like to leave it on because I like to be able to copy this URL and be able to send that to students in case they can't get in the normal way with the little purple round, Blackboard Collaborate button. The other thing that you can do is you can enter in a person's email address directly. And why that's beneficial, so I mean, if we're talking about guests, we're not generally talking about your students, but we're talking about maybe a guest speaker that's going to come in and talk about something in your class. So you could give that person the link, or you could directly email them and add their email address so that they could come in and have access to your course at a certain time. And then I would just say done. Because I'm not going to add by email address, I'm just going to add by the URL. So I would just pretend that I'm going to send this URL to somebody. I'd say done. Then remember, the other thing to do for your own course is to add a link, and whatever the link's name is. Now you might go by date. You might go by lecture 1 on September 9th, 2014, and then it asks you where you want to put it. Right now, I like to put it in course content. You can check on your details. You can add anything you want in these descriptions. Or you can also add in dates that the session's available or not. Once you get any of that filled in, again, you would hit save. And if you were good to go. So I'm just going to leave it as this and just say add it there, please. Okay. And then another thing that you can do is you can go edit room. And again, if you haven't changed the name, you can change the name again. Teleconference options, I would say you don't need to do that, but you can mouse over these little information eyes and find out what that's all about. Room attributes, what you can do is you can decide if the recording starts manually or automatically, and I would suggest that you go manual. Because once you get into your course and it launches to the whiteboard part, it automatically starts. So if you're like me and you let students in 15 minutes early, you're going to have 15 minutes of sort of dead space recording. How many people could talk at one time? You can set that from anywhere from 3 to 6. I think 3 is fine. It's up to you. Same thing with maximum amount of cameras, anywhere from 1 to 6. I'm sorry, and this was 1 to 6 as well. And the more people that you have doing this, obviously things can slow down as well. Okay, and then here's other things that you need to decide whether you want turned on or off. So do you want them to raise their hand? Private messages, right? So students can go into private chat rooms, and if you have this turned on, then you can see what they're talking about. I don't know. I personally think that we're dealing with adults. If they want to go off into a private chat room, I don't need to see that. So any of these things, you can decide what you want to do with that. And again, once you get that set, the last thing to come down here is to assign roles. Now, mostly you're probably going to say when people come in, they're going to be participants. If they join as a moderator, which you are, they can control things in your course. Now, if you had a guest speaker, what you would want to do is you might want to give him or her moderator access, but I'll show you how to do that in a sec. Or you can assign access. And again, here it allows you then to actually specify who can join as a moderator, who can join as a participant, or what role they have. But I like to, because you can give anybody moderator privileges during the session, I let everybody come in as a participant. So from there, I would say save. And now I am ready to actually launch this room. And if I click launch room, you know, I think how this all goes. If I say launch room, it'll ask you if you've got the software. I'm working on a Mac, so that's how, and I've got the launcher already, so I'm going to say I already have it. And it's going to ask you where you want to save it. Now you can save it to your downloads. I like to put it on my desktop, so I'm going to say save. And so remember, it shows up down here on your, I don't know what you call this, your status bar, I think, down below. So now I've got two options. I can come all the way over here, and I can double click that to launch my session, or I can come here and say open, and it will launch Collaborate either way. I typically come here and I open it just with a double click. And then it takes a few seconds for it to verify. Now remember, you have to have the proper, or you need to have the proper version of Java, and if you don't, it'll probably give you a message that it can't launch. So it's launching Collaborate now. So it goes through this. I think, so there we go. Sometimes it'll ask you what kind of connection you have. If you're at the college, then I would say that you would have a local area network, a LAN. And if you're at home, you're probably on your wireless. So I would either go wireless, or if you're plugged into your Wi-Fi, router directly, you can say that you're on a cable DSL connection. Okay. Now, remember when we were doing our setting up, I said to manually start the recording. So if I would have said automatically, we'd be recording the session right now instead of it saying for me to say start when you're ready to go. Okay. The other thing you might notice is I've pulled my chat window over here. You know, I can add it back into the regular window over here and do that, but I like to have the chat window, and I'm using a bigger monitor, so it does help. I like to have the chat window here so I can see all of the chats. And so you can also see then, once I come into the session, I've got microphone turned off, no video cameras, nobody allowed to chat, nobody can write on the whiteboard. These last two I typically leave off. This is for a web tour, and this is the allows a student to share their desktop type of thing. So I leave those ones off in default. If they're presenting or they're doing something and they need control of the whiteboard, then I can do that. Now I don't have any participants in my course here, but if I did, I would just click on their name and make it active like I just made mine. I'd come up to Tools, and then I would say, give this person moderator privileges. Now you can see it's grayed out on my screen because I don't have anybody in there, but that's what you do with your guests. So if your guest came in here, you could touch his or her name, and then go up to Tools, and then give them moderator privileges. You don't lose yours, but that gives them access then to show their PowerPoint, or draw on the whiteboard, or show videos, or share their desktop, or whatever that is. And so that's about all there is to that little piece of Collaborate that I wanted to share with you. And as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a holler at CTL. Oops, let me just put it on the pencil here. Right, so my new extension is 2499, and then you can just look for my email up on Outlook. Okay, all right, everybody, and have a great day, and thanks a lot.